Hey, wow, whoops. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Steve.
How
How's
you
it
doing
going? Hi,
today? Anyway,
everybody. Hi, all
there
our
you are.
pool buddies.
All right.
Well,
Boy,
it's
we got a
the rain has stopped here in the Pacific Northwest, so things are looking good.
all right. Boy, we got a big show today. We got two GPRS dogs on, and we have two from PYRescue and Sanctuary in Colorado. Wow.
I,
Um,
I can't wait.
yeah. And well, let's not wait. How about we bring up the GPRS dogs. Hi, Sandra.
Woohoo.
Hi, this is Jackson. He's decided he's going to take a nap now.
Okay, well, that's okay. He can do what he wants. It's about the dogs.
Good.
Get up, Jackson.
Right.
Now that one's not Jackson, is he?
No, that's my mixed breed that rules the roost.
All right.
Can you give
Now,
him? Let's see if he'll stand up on a leash.
now Jackson's made a couple of big steps here in this last few days, hasn't he?
He has done very well. When I got him, I've had him since the week before Christmas. He not only wouldn't come in the house, but finally, when I got him in the house, he would not walk on slick floors. As you can see, he's on a slick floor right now, not willing to get up, but he got here. Now he's learning to walk on a leash.
That's
And
amazing.
he walked across the room just a few minutes before the show came on. I don't know. He doesn't want to do it right now. But he's very compliant. He likes to do what I ask him to do. So it won't be too much longer before we have him up and doing as he should be doing.
All right. He's a good looking boy now.
He's our big boy.
Okay. Now he's not listed quite yet, right?
He's not listed yet because I can't get him in a car and because he is not leash broken. If I could get him in a car, I would feel comfortable about listing him. He's very well mannered. He's housebroken, everything. But
So he's getting close. So keep your eyes out. Close. Jackson, he's up and coming, isn't he?
He is up and coming, and he's a couch potato. He really is.
And I'm excited because I just might get to work with him a little bit, huh, Sandra?
I hope, Lord, do I hope so.
That's all right. He's a good boy.
He is a good boy. He is a good boy.
Now, you have a second foster. Yeah, you're fostering two of them, aren't you?
Yeah, you'll have to wait because she's decided she's going to take a nap a long time ago.
Looky there. Wow.
Can you see her? That's Noelle.
Okay. Look at her.
Dog. She is really a love and a half.
Look at that. She wants a tummy rub.
She was running. She and Jackson were picked up together. They were running together. I don't know their backstory. She is and was housebroken before I got her, apparently, because she immediately did the right thing potty-wise. She likes to sleep in bed with this young lady right here. She won't sleep in bed with me, but she sleeps in bed with Melly. Yes, look at you.
Well, dogs pick their human.
Yes, and Noelle picked Melly. I can't say anything adverse about her. She's leash trained. She goes in the car. She does what she's supposed to do. She's just
wow.
She is so ready to go, and we're so ready not to let her go. So
yeah, that happens. Now, you said they came in together. Are they siblings, or do you guys know?
We have no idea. The vet estimates her age at 5 and Jackson's at 4.
Okay.
They were picked up about 30 miles from here on the side of the road. And the people that picked them up, I don't know why they picked them up, but they kept them one night, and then they were leaving for Christmas, so they couldn't keep the dogs. So they were surrendering them to a shelter that was overpopulated and already told them, you've got 3 days and that's it. And I just happened to be at that shelter donating some blankets. And when they said, they'll be euthanized in 3 days, I said, oh, no, not on my watch. So I took 2 dogs home with me to join my other 3. So we have quite a house full now.
I see that. And and that's how you became to be a foster with Great Pyrenees Rescue Society?
That's how I became. My veterinarian gave me the phone number of the local rescue group in Spring, and that's how I got involved with everybody.
Wow. Okay.
And there's Jackson and Noel.
Now they don't have to be adopted together, do they?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Like I said, I have no clue what their backstory is. They watch out for each other. If one barks, the other one is there to find out what's going on. But I firmly believe that they will be fine separated.
Okay. Good. Wow. Now, do you have any cats amongst all those dogs?
No, no cats.
Okay. How do you think, just from observation, do you think they would be okay with a cat?
No.
Okay. There you have it. I like
They're okay.
honesty.
I have, as you saw briefly, 3 dogs. I have a Labrador. I have this little mixed breed that's 35 pounds. And I have a Chinese crested that's 12 pounds. They've never given the Chinese crested any problems, nor does he give them any problems. But I just have a gut feeling that they won't like a cat. They hate the
Okay.
next door neighbor's dogs. So
Okay. All right.
I wouldn't say that they would get along good with cats.
Okay.
I
What
could
about
be dead wrong.
children? I obviously see older children can do well with them. What about younger children?
I think they would be excellent. Melly, don't you think it would be good with small children?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Melly's got 2, a niece and a nephew that are like 2 years old and younger. And she said she wouldn't be afraid to put those 2 kids with these dogs. So I
Okay.
think that's good.
And it looks like Noelle may possibly like belly rubs.
I think she
A little bit,
does.
yes.
Yeah. They're
Looks
my
like,
sweethearts.
looks like with most peers, the way to their heart is through their stomachs. It looks like hers is through her belly rubs.
They are not food driven. They like
Okay.
their food. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, Jackson lets me know that he wants his breakfast, please. And he gets it. But as far as they don't do obedience for treats. I don't do that.
Okay.
So they are not treat driven or food driven.
Okay.
They do for love.
Can Noelle read? It looks like she's reading a card.
Yeah. She's looking at all those nude photographs I have on the ceiling.
All right. Julie, do you have any
I think it's
questions
her
for Sandra?
fan mail.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that she's reading her. I said it looks like she's reading her fan mail.
Oh,
You know,
yeah. Well,
she's,
she may be doing just that. She's a
Right.
hun. I hope we can
Now,
get her
what are-
adopted to a really good family.
Right. Now, with Jackson, do you think he needs to be in a Texas only home because of his not doing well with cars or riding in cars? Or is that something we could look at for outside of Texas also?
I don't think he needs to be a Texas dog only. But I can't even get him to a transporter right now. So he,
We'll help you with that. That's not a problem. You'd be surprised what he'll be able to do.
Now I will say that he prefers men to women. I mean, he loves us, but if a man in a cowboy hat and a pickup truck should happen to drive up my driveway, he's all over himself.
Okay. Sounds
And
like
I don't have a man with a cowboy hat and a pickup truck, but if I did, the dog would be very happy. My vet is that sort of person. And the minute that the vet came to see about him, the first call, he was just the happiest dog you've ever seen. So I think he's used to working with men. And my neighbor across the street speaks Spanish. And he came over to visit them and spoke Spanish to them, and they were tickled as they could be. I think they lived on a ranch somewhere and dealt with Mexican laborers.
that's what it sounds
I don't-
like.
I don't know
Wow.
that.
Now you've got they've got a fan. Terry says, "Oh, please don't separate them." So
Okay.
they're getting some fan mail here.
Okay.
So
Well, they can be separated, I think. I would prefer probably not to, but I don't know of anybody in this world that would take two of them at the same time. But
mhm.
if there's
Yeah,
somebody
I'd
out
be
there that would,
surprised.
if there's somebody out there that would, these would be the two to do.
Yeah, because Terry might take both of them. We never know.
You may never know, Terry.
All she has to do is
Terry?
apply. So,
That's
Um,
right.
That's right.
and
That's
Rena,
right.
Rena thinks this is very interesting. Your story, because you see, we're building a backstory on these two dogs. So
Okay.
that's a good thing.
Well, my veterinarian said that he feels like Jackson was raised outside and never permitted to come in the house
Mhm.
because of the problems that we had getting him to walk across a threshold
Right,
and then being afraid of the slick floors.
right.
Noelle, on the other hand, has very definitely lived in the house. She accidentally one day sat up on her hind end for a treat. So she's been taught to sit up by somebody. I don't make her do
Okay.
it because I don't necessarily believe in that. But one has been an outside dog and one has been an inside dog.
Okay.
And now
Terry
they're
said-
both inside dogs.
Terry says she already has two.
Well, she could take two more.
Right. Well,
That's
yes.
right,
they do.
Terry.
Yeah. There's the memo. There's really no memo. All the memo says you can't own just one. There's really no limit. Okay.
Oh, okay. Good.
So Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org.
And they look
is
like
where you
pretty
go.
easy keepers.
Oh, they're potatoes. They are just
Right.
potatoes. They like to play with this little mixed breed dog that I've got. She runs them in the backyard and they chase and they play and they carry on. But what you see is the way they are 98% of the time.
Wow.
Nice.
And boy, she sure likes her belly. She sure does like your daughter there. Hopefully that's your daughter. Yeah, if not,
My granddaughter.
close enough. Wow.
Yes, they're very attached.
Now you apparently do get some visitors, and they've been doing well with the visitors so far, right?
Yes, they have no problems with people who come in and out. I have a fella who scoops the poop in my backyard, and he just comes in and makes himself at home, and Jackson loves him to death. So the only thing these dogs don't like are the two dogs that live next door.
And that's okay. There's a reason for that.
Yep, and that's fine. But I have not had a moment's trouble with them meeting new people.
Well, Sharon, you don't have to have a ranch because they're suspicious that these dogs came off of a ranch because they didn't do well. So you have to come up with something different on that one. Right, Julie?
Right. I'm not going to tell you.
I
how
think
many
they're perfectly
dogs-
happy in the house.
That's right. I don't have a ranch
See,
either.
Personally, for me, I wouldn't be able to afford two more dogs.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, they eat a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't eat as much as I thought they should, but
Mhm.
they've like quadrupled my dog food budget, but that's okay.
Right. Well, they're bigger dogs.
Of course.
Proportionally, they don't eat any more than your small
No.
dog do, but that's
No, they
proportional.
don't.
Okay.
No, they don't.
All right. Do you have any questions, Julie?
No, they look like lovely dogs, and I personally, as a screener, I follow Noelle, and always potentially look for adopters for her as well, because she just always has caught my eye, and I just thought she's just a beautiful dog and deserves
She
a
is
loving
beautiful.
home.
Yeah.
I want to get her where she's a little bit more comfortable in the car because I'd like to take her to a groomer and get her shampooed and, really cleaned up good. We're not quite there yet, but those are my next plans for her. And of course, him, I just have to, if I can just get him in the car, I'll be thankful.
All right. Well, we can definitely do that. And usually when we work with that tip of the day, once you get him into the car, don't start it. Just sit with him for a little while in the car. Just let him get used to the car itself
Okay.
first, okay?
Okay.
But we'll have to see what he's got going on because he has to get in the car under his own power. So you're just spinning your wheels. So,
Well, he pancakes. There's no way he's getting in a car. We're going to do it at his speed. We'd work on it a little bit every day with the leash, and I'm not going to push him. I want him to feel comfortable, and so that's the way we're going to do it.
I like that.
Yes.
So
Yes, we're going to do it at your speed, baby.
Sharon, we just giving you a hard time, okay?
Okay.
Now you do know that for those folks that can't adopt, you do know that you can also foster. Maybe not these two because they're in a foster, but there's a lot of other dogs. Any dog at headquarters, I believe, is available for fostering. All right. And there's dogs on a daily basis that need to come into rescue, just like what Sandra did. They came into rescue because Sandra agreed to foster them. Okay. They need a place to go. So
Yes.
always remember that.
Yes.
Fostering saves lives. You literally saved their life, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I do that.
Okay. So now you're new to fostering with the Great Pyrenees Rescue Society. How's your experience been so far?
It's been wonderful.
Okay. See there, it's even a wonderful experience with GPRS to foster.
Well, see, considering that I knew nothing about a Great Pyrenees, I think I've done great.
I think you have too. You know why? Because you're able and willing to learn.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll never forget one time Melise, the director, said that they will adopt out to folks with no peer experience, providing they're willing and able to learn.
Oh, and you need to be patient. You know, you were teaching me a lot the other day when we were speaking on the phone about how independent thinking they are.
Yep.
And I think once a person realizes that, it's much easier to deal with them.
And it goes in depth. They don't make a move without processing it first. So,
And I can tell that now that you have explained that to me. So
boy, he is one handsome boy.
he is. Yes, he is.
And she is so content.
My two gentle giants. I love them.
Yeah.
I
And this
love 'em.
probably won't be your last peers either, will they?
Probably not, I'm afraid. It's all I can do to keep from saying, yeah, I'll take those puppies down there in spring, but
All
no.
right.
No.
And you know the cool part about this, Sandra says she can stay for the show, so she's going to get to stay up. And if they do something exciting like, well, move, everybody will get to see it, okay?
I'll let you know if they decide to come back to life.
Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org. That's where this all happens right here, right now. Okay. Now, thank you, Sandra. And,
Thank you, Steve.
Your next fosters after these two move on, we got to get you on the show again because you're doing a fine job and you're really representing your rescue very well.
I love it. I love it.
Nice work. So,
Thank you.
all right. So, wow, Julie. Wow. Now, some of this is going to be a surprise.
I'll tell you,
for
it's
you,
every
Julie.
day those. Yeah, I tell you, every day the Texas foster care and the transporters, they do such amazing things and save these dogs, just like Sandra did from euthanasia. We see stories about that every day, and we're just so thankful.
Yes. Well, as
It's
you
a
can see,
village.
we just moved states and rescues. Now, I think you're aware of most of what's going on with the second half of the show. We have two young puppies that PYRescue took in last week, and boy, did they get the surprise of their life. Okay. So without further ado, in any way, shape, or form, we're going to bring up PYRescue and Sanctuary in Colorado. And the cool part is we've got dual cameras. We can see. Well, there's a little smoky, isn't it, Judy?
Yep, this is
Okay.
There you go.
What, sweetie?
So we're going to let Michael mute one of those two microphones so you don't get all that feedback. Or Judy, mute yours since you're tied in with Michael.
I think
Um,
mine's muted.
No, it isn't.
And so what? Let's see. Yeah, you're muted. Try it now. So what's up with Smokey? What happened? You took him in and then quickly.
Okay. Well, January 24th, we got 2 puppies in from Dodge City, Kansas. And we went up and Nancy, one of my volunteers, and Sandy went up to pick them up in Lyman, brought them back here. And their paperwork said that they had a little diarrhea that morning when they were being loaded. So they had given them metronidazole and Propec. So I, kind of looked at it. Okay, well, I'll give them a dose of metronidazole too, just in case. Didn't know what it was. Wasn't too. By the next morning, they were both vomiting and had diarrhea. Of course, since we had several puppies here a few months ago, I thought we got Parkinson's. So I loaded them up and took them to the ER, where I sat in the parking lot for 10 hours. A whole different story, but anyway, finally got in about 9 o'clock at night. Smokey was already some really severe respiratory symptoms. Snotty nose. He was having breathing, very listless. Immediately put him in the ICU, and it had never gone beyond the stuff, and he had pretty much died at that point.
You're breaking up a little bit, Judy. I'm sorry about that. So let's try this, Michael. Michael, mute yours, and Judy, unmute you. And let's try using your microphone with his speaker on your Bluetooth. Let's try that. See if that works. If it feeds back, then just mute it.
Okay.
Oh, much
Good
better.
now?
Whatever you did, it just worked.
Much better.
Okay, well, I turned mine on and he turned his off.
Okay.
So anyway, the Smokey got admitted to the ICU, and I ended up taking Bandit home. They sent a whole pile of drugs with Bandit. Smokey ended up staying for 4 days in the ICU. We picked him up late Saturday afternoon. So Smokey came home. He's been doing much better. We've been we had to give IV subcu fluids.
What was their diagnosis?
Well, it took about a week before we got the lab results back, but they have a high load of distemper, a wildlife strain. They have a high load of bordetella. They also have canine parainfluenza, canine pneumovirus, and mycoplasma.
Oh my God.
So they're just kind of a hot mess, mostly respiratory diseases.
Wow. And how old
So
are
we
they?
ended up having to give sub-Q fluids to both puppies. We ended up doing nebulizer and coupage treatments on Smokey here. Special diet, tons of drugs. It's been like, I don't know, week and a half from hell here. So Smokey's doing much, much better. He's actually starting to recover almost completely from everything. But 2 days ago, Bandit started showing constipation.
Wow.
So now he's going to be our sick doggy.
Wow.
Like a culture that they grew, finding out that the antibiotics that we've been giving them, they are probably resistant to. So we have to switch up antibiotics. So this keeps on going and going and going. But right now you can see Smokey is actually, he's looking much better now. He looks a little livelier. He does go outside, spends an hour or two every day. He's still pretty lazy, but he's eating well and drinking well and pooping normal, and so he's doing much better.
Now you're
Now
wearing a
we're worried
gown.
about little Bandit.
It looks like you're wearing some sort of protective clothing.
Oh yeah, I'm all gowned up here. So yeah, we're trying not to spread this around. The dogs here are all vaccinated for distemper, parainfluenza, and bordetella, but there is no vaccine for the pneumovirus or the mycoplasma. So we're just trying to keep that from going anywhere else.
That's 5 different issues that they have.
Yes.
Aren't they
Cannot
kind of
believe
lucky
it.
to even be alive?
Well, and let me show you this. This is where we think this probably came from.
Okay, I'm going to
I
switch
don't
to
know if
your
you can
camera
see
here.
this or not, but there is
We
this
have an injury.
puckery little wound right here.
Yeah.
When Smokey was picked up on January 13th, him and his brother Bandit were picked up. They had been running wild for probably weeks. There was another puppy their same age, probably a litter mate, and an adult male that had been running with them. These were the only 2 puppies they could catch. They couldn't catch the third one. And they got the adult male. Smokey came in with this wound on his neck, but it was already healing, but kind of infected looking. So they went ahead and shaved it, put him on cephalexin, put some antibiotic cream on it. Didn't think too much about it. But now we're thinking that he probably got distemper from a coyote or a fox or something that bit him.
So he's ground zero possibly of
We're
the,
kind of thinking maybe so. And he brought this into the shelter with him, and he probably had it for a couple of weeks. His immune system was probably really weak. So this is why he contracted all these other diseases. And of course, he had probably never had a vaccine
now
until he got to the
distemper's,
shelter.
now distemper's pretty serious stuff now, isn't it?
It is. I found out a lot about it. Generally, it has 3 different stages to it. So they can start out with the gastrointestinal, vomiting and diarrhea. They progress into respiratory symptoms, which can be like pneumonia, fluid in their lungs, coughing, and real snotty nose. Either one of those could kill the dog. Obviously we're treating them for what they have. The third one is the neurologic thing that everybody knows about. They can get some neurological symptoms, generally not behavior related, more like cerebral palsy type things or like inner ear dizziness type things. A head tilt, maybe walking in circles, not being able to stand up straight, walk in a straight line, things like that. They can get really bad. Sometimes they can get to the point of almost like nonstop seizure activity.
Wow.
Generally, at that point, you have to put the dog down.
Wow.
Puppies can recover at any stage during this. They can just get the gastro and get better and seem fine. They could get the respiratory and the gastro and seem fine. They could get some neurological symptoms and maybe 100% recover, or maybe they'll have a few little tics that they will live with for the rest of their lives. But the really creepy thing about distemper is it's like chicken pox. People that get chicken pox when they're young, that's very contagious. Kids usually spread it around to each other like wildfire. The chicken pox herpes simplex virus will live in your nervous system forever. And maybe decades later, when you're 30, 40, 50 years old, you come down with a raging cage of shingles. It's the same virus. Well, distemper is kind of the same way, only it won't lurk around for years. It generally will reappear within weeks or months. And it may reappear or may not reappear.
Okay.
But generally, when it does reappear, it reappears as the neurological symptoms.
Now,
And
has
it can get bad
either,
enough to kill them at that point, too.
right. Now, have either of them displayed any of the neurological symptoms?
No,
We haven't seen anything yet.
Okay. All
So
right.
we're just kind of hoping we can get them through this respiratory stuff and not see anything
Yeah.
worse.
I like your analogy about the human with the shingles. I never knew that. And Julie's actually in the human medical field, and she never told me either.
Yeah, well, this is one of those sneaky things that hangs out in your nervous system, and maybe it shows up again and maybe it doesn't. And the interesting thing is if it shows up the second time, it's not catchy.
Real? Oh yeah, right. Shingles not
It's like
contagious.
it's like the virus is attacking you
Okay.
from the inside out.
All right. Now, that's a lot going on with these two puppies. So what kind of vet bills you have going on with this? I bet you that's not cheap
Lord.
to treat.
Well, we probably spent about close to $7,000 in medications and vet bills already, and probably another $300 or $400 buying medical equipment and isolation stuff and all that. You know, shoe covers and gloves and gowns. And,
Wow. And you're not a giant rescue like GPRS. You were kind of small and you house them all.
yeah, we're pretty
That's
small.
enough
We
to
only have
stagger.
15 kennels here and just a few fosters.
Yeah. That amount of money is enough to stagger any rescue, including GPRS at times, right, Julie?
Correct.
So
You know,
Yeah,
one
it's a
sick
doozy.
dog can set a rescue back for sure.
Yeah,
Tens
that's
of
right.
And
thousands
then
of
we've got
dollars.
little Felix there who has just been ongoing.
yeah, so you've been hit pretty hard.
Felix, but he's the guy with the entropion surgeries and the seromas and the dysthymia surgery. And he's had 4 different eye conditions. He's probably had half a dozen surgeries. And he's got to have another one this month,
Right.
about $1,500 surgery. We're hoping that's it, but he just keeps surprising us.
Yeah. Felix is a good boy. We should have him back on. So you actually started a fundraiser of sorts for the puppies, right?
Yeah, just night before last. Nancy put something up on our Facebook page. So if anybody wants to hop on there and share it, we'd appreciate it.
Okay. And I'm going to put the link in the comments right now. Okay. And
Yeah,
it
you
just
can go
won't.
on our webpage, www.PYRescue.org, and there's a little donate button that says PayPal on it. We'll take donations there. Or there's a link on our Facebook page to it.
Right. So you can either go to PYRescue.org info donate, or you can go to the one that they actually posted, which is that right there. I'm scrolling them across the screen, Judy, is what I'm doing. But I put a link in the comments for anybody that has a spare dollar or two. Any amount will help. Okay. So, I mean, if you don't have money, obviously, then don't donate. Don't take away from yourself. I get that. They wouldn't want you to do that either. So,
No,
but if you do have,
any amount would help. I mean,
Yeah. So,
even $5 or $10 is great.
yeah. So,
Now, I
and
do
they
have
need
to
it.
contact my vet in the morning because we just got the culture results back. So I'm going to have to call my vet tomorrow and probably get a bunch of different antibiotics.
Sharon's got a big question here. If you look at your phone, you might see it, but I'll read it to you. So when you indicated neuro diseases, is it possible a peer may develop MG, which I don't know what it is, as in the case of her peer who passed prior to, based on a prior onset of distemper, etc., while a puppy? I rescued her at about 18 months old. So I
What's
don't know.
MG?
I don't even know what that is. Julie, you got any input on that? What MG is?
Myasthenia gravis?
Myasthenia gravis, is that what she's asking, Sharon?
So she's wanting to know if there's a connection with the distemper. And that would be a veterinary question, most likely.
I don't know. That
Sure.
one I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, she
It's
said correct
possible,
on
maybe.
the diseases
I don't
you
know
were
what
just
causes
mentioning.
myasthenia gravis.
Yeah, MG is that. She did say correct.
So I don't know what causes that.
Okay.
Appears
All right.
out of nowhere.
And I don't know either. So that would probably be a veterinary question.
That would be a good vet question.
Even Julie didn't know what that was.
You know, I think the important part, Judy, that I think is what saved the puppies' lives is the early the early recognition and treatment for the puppies. I know when we have foster puppies that we tell people right away, any vomiting, any diarrhea, let us know immediately, because those things can progress, or even a cough. If they would say, oh, I think they just have kennel cough. And sometimes it's actually been pneumonia with the puppies. And so we need to know, as you did right away, the early treatment for the puppies, I'm sure, is what saved their lives. Any delay in care, can lead to, it can be more difficult to treat the dog and puppies, especially with compromised immune systems already.
Yep.
Yeah. And they were given one puppy
job.
distemper shot in Dodge City. So that may have helped a little bit.
Now, here's where the seriousness comes in. They were at a shelter. They went on a transport with other dogs to you. That means this is spreading in your area there, possibly, right?
Yeah. This is kind of sad because I've been keeping Tony in Dodge City cued in on what's going on. Our heaters just came on, so it got kind of noisy, but
We don't hear it.
yeah. And then she had other dogs on the transport. Unfortunately, they've already had to euthanize a couple of dogs in Dodge City because they did test positive for distemper, and they don't apparently treat it. They just
Well, they don't
euthanize
have the resources for
the
that.
spread.
Wow. And the transport was notified, correct?
I can't even hear.
Oh, okay. We lost. Oh, you can't hear us,
The
but
transport, there was one elderly Chihuahua that's come down with some rather severe respiratory stuff, but that's all I've heard about the transport.
okay. All right. And wow. Now, where's Bandit? We get to see a lot of Smokey. Where's Bandit?
Way I can make my earpiece louder. Huh?
Here, I'll turn it back up so you can hear it.
Oh, okay, that's better.
Okay. Can you hear us?
Our heater came on in here and I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. I got you. Because it's cold outside, because I saw a lot of snow before you went in there. Where's Bandit? Can we
Believe it
go
or
to get?
not, this is the warmest we've had since before Christmas.
That's why you haven't been on the show recently.
Right. It's been one snowstorm after another.
Wow.
It's finally melting out there.
Oh, good. Oh, it got warm today. Where's Bandit? Did we get to meet Bandit?
Yeah, he's over in the other building, so I'll walk
Okay.
on over there.
Now, do you have to go through a cleaning process just to go into that other building? Because we don't have to do that if that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I could probably just switch gowns and gloves.
Okay. And
Yeah,
this is
so-
very important, folks, that what she has to do here. And in the meantime, we're going to bring up a good looking non-peer here.
You
And,
just
Let's mute you.
but the key to this is Jackson and Noel getting along just fine with these dogs, aren't they, Sandra? You're muted, so we won't be able to hear you until you mute yourself. Making a comment.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you,
Can you hear
Jay.
me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. He muted the thing on my phone, so I'm going to have him hold my phone while I
Okay. Oh, you got to get undressed and redressed. We'll cover our eyes, all right? Okay. And we're going to go back to, we're going to go back over here to Texas. And boy, we got some good looking dogs over here now with over there with Sandra. She may not be able to.
Sue.
I muted her. There we go. And look at that little dog. Is that the Chinese crested?
That's the Chinese crested. He is 16 and a half years old.
Wow.
He's blind and deaf at this point in his
Okay.
life.
But he's not for adoption, right? They got to go to findadifferentdog.com for that one, right?
There is no way this dog is out for adoption.
All right. Well, we're going to take advantage here and look at the outdoors in Colorado there. Well, look at that.
Oh, look at that
And
snow.
look at the facility they have. The Great Pyrenees Rescue and Sanctuary in Colorado, they built the facility around the dogs. This facility was built for the rescue, just so you know.
Wow.
And that's pretty cool, isn't it? and now they're in.
I guess
in-
it's a good time, Steve, to mention about making sure your dogs are always up to date with vaccines and immunizations and stuff too. So especially with some of the influenzas that have been going around as well, it's important to keep your dogs up to date or have
Absolutely.
current titers on them.
You are absolutely correct, because there's a possibility this whole thing with Smokey and the Bandit would have been avoided for very little cost.
Right.
So, now we lost Judy's phone completely, it looks like. And we're getting a little bit of interference going in. And we're getting the interference on Michael's phone for some reason. Because I muted you for a second, Michael, and it went away.
I think you may be hearing the plastic rattle from the ground.
Okay, we've lost Judy's phone completely for some reason. So, but anyway, look at this. Now, this is the other building, and I bet you Ban is behind that stuff right there we're looking at on the left.
Yeah, put sheets up around his kennel.
Okay.
Reese was working at a road meeting and making notes.
Okay.
So he just had a sheet around his kennel.
All right. Yeah, we're getting the interference from Michael's phone for some reason. Your
I
phone
think
was.
you're hearing. You're hearing rattle on plastic.
Okay. It doesn't. I don't hear the plastic. This could be the plastic. Be honest with you, I don't know what I'm hearing. But we didn't hear it with Judy's phone.
Okay, Michael has my phone right now.
Oh, so we do hear it with Judy's phone. Gotcha. See what she has to go through just to go in there?
The enter.
Okay.
And she has to protect the other dogs and everything. So that means that's your phone, Michael, that went offline.
Oh, I can't.
No, that was Judy's that went offline.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't even know how that happened. She must have squeezed. Must be something similar when I'm talking to her on the phone and she mutes me. Unless she's doing it on purpose because I talk too much. That could be. Now, I posted the link for the little fundraiser they put together in the comments, and you can also just go to their website, PYRescue.org, and do a standard donation through there if need be. And don't forget, Great Pyrenees Rescue Society also needs donors too. So, but they got it going on here.
I know that headquarters has taken in some pretty debilitated dogs recently.
Do you hear that noise coming in with them
Some
two Julie? Or is that
debilitated
just me?
dogs as well. So donations are always appreciated.
Oh yeah. There he is.
Okay, so this is the bandit here. Believe it or not, those two are brothers. You think?
Well, that's a good looking boy now.
He's not feeling. He's pretty fine.
I got literally a headshot right there. You can't see it, Judy, but we literally have a headshot. That's a good looking boy.
Little guy.
But you think they're litter mates, right?
We think so.
Okay.
And there was a third one that they never caught, and I suspect that one may be dead.
Okay.
They're going to try to trap the third one, but
Alright.
apparently like Smokey.
Okay.
This is Smokey and the Bandit, in case you didn't pick up the.
Smokey and the Bandit. I picked it up.
Right.
Now some of the young people may not, but us old
The third one, he was going to be the ice.
Okay. Now, was that their names before you got them? Was that their PYRescue names?
That's our rescue name.
Gotcha. I like that. Rescues will theme the names of dogs when they have multiple dogs, like the Great Pyrenees Rescue Society just picks alphabet, right, Julie?
Right. A lot of food. We have a stew chef, I think, that works at headquarters that names a lot of dogs after food.
Right.
How big the litter is.
Or
Yeah.
definitely all by letter. Right. And by letters because it's easier to keep track of who's who.
That's right. Yeah. And now with Bandit, now is there any kind of guess on how long the vets expect and how long it'll be before they heal up and be not contagious like this?
No, it's kind of a crap. I mean, it depends on if they progress into further stages.
Okay.
So we're always hoping that what we're treating right now is going to be the last thing we treat, and they're going to get better, and not anything else bad can happen to them. But like with him, we thought we were completely off the hook. I mean, he just recovers to the ER. You know, he wasn't vomiting, and he was eating. We still gave him all the meds they prescribed, but he wasn't really needing one-off treatments.
All right. We really miss you right now.
No. So then all of a sudden, he started getting bad again a couple days ago.
Right. Now, that's a picture of you administering. You can't see it, but that's a picture of you. Looks like you have an IV drip bag or something there. What is that? What's that all about?
That was subcutaneous fluids that we had to give them because they weren't drinking enough. We had to make sure they were getting enough fluids in their system. That's important, obviously, to not get dehydrated. But it's also, good for the respiratory stuff to make sure they've just got all the fluids in the chest.
We really miss your phone right now, Judy. But anyway, I don't know if there's an interference on the Bluetooth or what's going on, but there's something there. But, now, do you still give them? Do you give Smokey the IVs too, or not?
I'm probably going to start back up again because he's just not eating and drinking.
Okay. So he's still not. So he may actually took a turn for the worse, right?
Yeah, he did. We did not expect that.
Okay. Wow. Vaccinations, folks. That could have avoided all of this. So.
And the nebulizers. And the nebulizers and the copage that Judy was talking about, that's a big part of helping to loosen the phlegm and stuff within their lungs. It's quite easy to do. I know it's a task that I've had a few times to do, not just, I did it on humans, but, for dogs as well. It works, and it really helps in improving their outcome for respiratory illnesses.
Right.
Something that has to be done as frequently as about every 4 hours or so.
Wow.
It's a lot of work.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. Sharon can't see this. I mean, Judy can't see this, but Sharon says Burt Reynolds has a little competition. Meet Bandit 2. Hey, Sharon. Okay. So, wow. And you just continue this up until they're all well. Is that correct?
Yeah. And I honestly don't have any idea how long they will be contagious, even after they feel good and are acting normal. I don't really know what the answer to that one is.
Okay. Wow. Now I've got a little indicator here of like, for example, Smokey's vet bill. All right. And so the folks can see a little bit of what you've been going through. Now, you had to pay this on the spot already. Is that correct?
Yes.
And these bills don't include Felix.
Oh, no. This is just It was almost $1,000 just to take the guy home. It was, I don't know, close to $5,000 for smoking for a few days.
I
Then
have
we've had visits and bills. And
right. I have the IDEX results up here right now for the folks, and I broke that down into two parts, so you can see the all the positives for the canine distemper and the Bordetella and the flu and the pneumonia. And Julie's got a good look at it. There's a page 2, Julie. Here, I will take the banner down so you can see more of it. And then at the bottom of why I split that up, well, number one, to get it big enough so you can see it, and then I can show the wow, some of the stuff I never heard of that they tested positive for, right? And it's just really unexpected in these puppies. Wow.
they were much sicker than we thought.
Wow. And Sharon says, God bless PYRescue. You guys are amazing. So
Right. It's not just the financial, which is a huge burden, for any person or any rescue, but the time commitment, like I was saying, with for Judy to pull these 2 puppies through, that's 24-hour, care for these 2 cute little puppies.
It's all been me.
yeah.
Right.
For the folks that don't know, the PYRescue is a facilities-based rescue. Okay. And so basically all the dogs are on their site. Now she does have a couple of fosters, one for behavior, and I think you have a medical foster too. I think you did, but majority of the dogs are right here. Okay. To where GPRS, they are a foster-based rescue, and by the way, they're amazing too. And so is the Indie Great Pyrenees Rescue, because any of these rescues will do this, right? Now, the difference of it is that, PYRescue and Sanctuary, the dogs are there. There's no foster to have to reach out to them, and there's a little bit of time there. And they just see it right away, and boom, they're gone. They're able to do early detection. Now, GPRS fosters, sometimes if they can't get a hold of somebody, they're going anyway. I get it. All right. So just because they're rescue, they're amazing. All right. So
This is a little bit of a facility-based rescue too. She has a few dogs that hurt.
God, we miss your phone bad. Can you relay that back to us, Michael? We missed that last statement.
She said Melise is partially a facility-based rescue too. She has a bunch of dogs on site there.
Yeah, GPRS is dual. They have the dogs at headquarters, and they have the dogs in fosters. So, unless the dogs go into Pacific Northwest coming into rescue, usually they go into headquarters first. Is that correct, Julie?
Correct. And all dogs are held at minimum for a couple weeks to do not just a health screening, but behavior screening as well. And the one thing, because these dogs, just like Judy, who got these dogs that were running loose in the mountains of Colorado, just like in Texas, these dogs have been strays or abandoned and, living in the elements for God knows how long. And, they're definitely show signs of stress and illness and injury, and all that has to be treated. No dog is ever adopted out that has any needed medical procedure done prior to being 100% as healthy as they can be.
So for those folks that wonder why it's such a process, if you may, to adopt a dog out of a rescue, you're starting to see part of the reason for why. Okay. And they're picky, and for due cause. Okay. Sometimes I see areas that they could be a little pickier, either, but they're not. So, but that's their call. I'm not part of that equation. I don't want to be. Okay? But right here is another reason why you got to pry a dog out of a rescue's cold dead hands. Right here. Okay. Judy is going to be very protective over Bandit and Smokey, just like she is with all of her dogs. And just like Melise, and Julie, and everybody involved, and Rena, especially Rena, they're very picky about where their dogs go. So that means if you've got a GPRS dog, or a PYRescue dog, or an Indy dog, or a Montana dog, wow, you're okay in my book because you actually got a dog from them. So.
And Sandra.
I'm sorry?
I said, and Sandra too. Those two aren't going anywhere except to the way home.
Well, Sandra's part of the equation. She's a foster.
That's right.
But you've got the same requirements for fosters, if I remember right, don't you? I think.
I'm sorry?
You got similar requirements for fosters too, don't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That there's a screening process as well. And, you know,
I don't think Jackson would be
just as thorough.
It doesn't look like Jackson would be a good candidate for the big butt contest. He doesn't have a big butt. All right, everybody. We're going to call it a day. It's been an hour. What do you think, Judy?
Yep, sounds good.
Hey, you got to go up and take another shower now, don't you?
Probably.
So, PYRescue.org. Matter of fact, I'll run this banner back across. If you want to donate, I put it into I pasted it into the comment. And after the show, I'll put it into the two YouTube channels that we stream to. And people watch them there sometimes after the fact. We had good viewers today here for diversity. We had someone from each site we stream to. And we want to thank all 4 rescues that support this show. And that's the PYRescue Sanctuary in Colorado, the Great Pyrenees Rescue Society, the Great Pyrenees Rescue Montana, and Indy Great Pyrenees Rescue. They all support this show because, well, the show's for the dogs. So on that note, let's see make sure I've got, yes, I do. Julie, anything you'd like to add before we call it a day?
No, Judy, just keep us posted on how the puppies are doing. You know, we'd really like to know. And thank you for I know it's a lot of hard work and commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Sandra, for coming on and
Guys,
and showing your dogs and allowing us into your home. And Judy, thank you so much for doing this and taking care of these 2 puppies and all the dogs that you take care of there. Thank you so much for that. And Julie, I saw a dog that I would like to get on maybe next week or sometime in the future. Snow. Let's work on that.
We shall. I know we've got a few already committed for next week's show, and they're looking forward to it.
I don't know about anybody else, but I'd like to get Julio back on one. You know, anyway, he's really doing great.
There's a tail wag.
Yeah.
There's a little tail wag from Bandit.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Here we go.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.